today's stories for Hashtag Trending were all about cybersecurity, one of those days, and I'm taking the liberty of cross-posting this to the CST audience as well. Microsoft is criticized for its handling of bug reporting, with critics saying they just don't seem to get it. Disney is hacked by a group that claims to be punishing them for using AI to steal from artists. Kaspersky is closing down in the US, and if you think your phone is safe, the FBI just cracked a locked phone in 2 days. All this and more on the What a Week for Our Security Reporter to Be Off edition of Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. And if you're a Cybersecurity Today listener, we hope Howard will be back next week. In a recent development highlighting ongoing issues with vulnerability disclosure processes, Microsoft has come under fire for its handling of a zero-day flaw in its MSHTML browser engine. The vulnerability was discovered and reported by Trend Micro's Zero-Day Initiative. A group calling themselves Void Banshee is a new nation-state-level cybercrime group that has managed to find a way to create a zombie version of the old, now unprotected Internet Explorer. Microsoft supposedly disabled Internet Explorer in June of 2022, but the attackers not only have found a way to resurrect it, but also to use it to take over modern Windows systems. Trend Micro researchers classed it as a remote code execution bug, which would place it near the top of the severity ratings. And they were surprised when Microsoft rated it as a spoofing bug, which would give it far less severity and priority. Microsoft also credited another group with the discovery. Dustin Childs from Trend Micro's Zero-Day Initiative told the publication The Register, "It seems like they really don't have a full grasp of what's going on at this point." This incident surfaced some frustrations and underscores some issues with coordinated vulnerability disclosure processes across the tech industry, according to Childs. It's creating a situation, he says, where it's really pushing researchers away from reporting to vendors, which is going to be very problematic in the near future. And that, for all of us out here using software, would not be a good thing. So who's at fault for this? We don't care. Microsoft is a big player and needs to pay attention to this. Their reputation in security is already problematic. And in another security-related story, the entertainment giant Disney is investigating a significant leak of internal messages. A hacking group called Null Bulge claims to have accessed thousands of communications from Disney employees, potentially exposing sensitive information about upcoming projects. And the hackers, claiming to be based in Russia, say they gained access through an insider to Disney's internal Slack messaging system. Null Bulge describes itself as a hacktivist group protecting artist rights and targets organizations it believes are harming the creative industry using AI-generated content. On their website, they state, "Our hacks are not those of malice, but to punish those caught stealing." The group criticizes Disney's handling of artist contracts, its approach to AI, and what they perceive as disregard for consumers. However, the existence and the authenticity of the leaked data have not yet been independently verified. But if they are made public, you can bet there will be a lot of interest. Just don't tell me the ending of the Deadpool movie, okay? Russian antivirus software provider Kaspersky Labs has announced it will cease operations in the United States starting July 20th, 2024. This decision comes in the wake of recent sanctions imposed by the U.S. government. The U.S. Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctioned 12 Kaspersky executives on June 21st, freezing their U.S. assets. Additionally, the Department of Commerce added Kaspersky to its entity list, effectively banning U.S. businesses from working with the company. In a recent statement, Kaspersky confirmed, starting from July 20th, 2024, Kaspersky will gradually wind down its U.S. operations and eliminate U.S.-based positions. The company cited the U.S. Department of Commerce's decision to prohibit sales and distribution of Kaspersky products in the U.S. as their primary reason. The U.S. government's actions stem from concerns over potential national security risks, with the Bureau of Industry and Security stating that Kaspersky's continued operations in the U.S. presented a national security risk that could not be addressed through mitigation measures short of a total prohibition. The move marks the end of Kaspersky's presence in the U.S. market and highlights the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Russia in the cybersecurity sector. Remember the big deal a while ago in December 2019, back when Trump was president and there was a shooting in San Bernardino and the FBI recovered the shooter's phones? They wanted Apple to assist them in breaking into the phones. Apple steadfastly refused to unlock the phones even, and this is from memory, claiming they couldn't do it. Having that sort of access to iPhones would create a backdoor that would make iPhones less secure. That fight went on for months, with Trump even saying people should boycott Apple until they unlocked the phones. The FBI eventually and somewhat quietly dropped their demands, but it turns out not because Apple stared them down. They found another way, and that became abundantly clear after this recent Trump shooting, where once again the FBI recovered the shooter's phone, but this time the FBI and other law enforcement agencies, it turns out, have found ways to access encrypted devices. And the FBI announced that it gained access to the Trump rally shooter's phone in just 2 days after the incident. And it's not just the FBI. Security expert Cooper Quinton from the Electronic Frontier Foundation notes, almost every police department in the nation has a device called Celebrite, which is built for extracting data from phones, and it also has some capability to unlock phones. It turns out that a 2020 investigation found that over 2,000 law enforcement agencies across 50 states have access to mobile device extraction tools, or MDTFs. These tools, like GrayKey, can cost up to $30,000 and offer support for even the latest smartphone models. This is a difficult issue, but it's worthy of some public discussion. Now that we've seen the ease with which law enforcement can now access devices we thought were protected. And that's our show for today. #Trending is still on summer hours. We'll have 3 daily news shows a week, so our next show will be our weekend edition, which we hope to post on Friday. Show notes are still at technewsday.ca or .com. Either one works, and there are no summer hours for comments. Contact me directly at editorial@technewsday.ca. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.